The story begins with a girl named Sophia, who was an ocean researcher. Today, along with her husband and her team, she is conducting research in the Pacific Ocean on the impact of trash on marine life. Upon hearing this, the entire team begins preparing to go into the sea. Some team members head underwater, while Sophia and Jade stay on the ship to guide them through monitors. As Chris moves forward underwater, he sees a blue whale calf that had died after getting trapped in a fishing net. However, the shocking part was that half of its body was missing. Looking closely, they notice deep teeth marks from a massive creature on it. Just then, Sophia realizes that the signal they are receiving is coming from the tracker of a shark named Lilith, and she is rapidly moving toward them. During this time, several sharks begin circling around Chris. Seeing this, Sophia warns him to stay alert. Suddenly, a massive shark passes very close to Chris. Everyone is stunned to see it. Panic-stricken, Chris asks Sophia, "Is this the same shark?" To this, Sophia replies in disbelief that Lilith was supposed to be here, but just 3 months ago, her length was only 2.5 meters. Just then, Chris spots the tracker attached to the shark, and everyone realizes that it really is Lilith, who is now grown to about 10 meters long. Seeing Lilith's massive size, Chris understands that they need to get out of the water immediately. However, Sophia tells him to take a sample from Lilith because she wants to know how she grew so big in just 3 months. Gathering his courage, Chris shoots Lilith with a syringe to collect her sample. The syringes begin floating up, but suddenly Lilith returns at a very high speed and attacks them. In no time, she kills the entire team one by one. Seeing all this, Sophia panics and immediately jumps into the water to save her companions. But after swimming a short distance, she sees Chris's severed hand. Terrified by this, she rushes back toward the boat, but Lilith grabs her and drags her into the deep ocean. Due to the immense water pressure in the deep, her ears start bleeding. Still, she doesn't lose hope, manages to cut the net, and successfully makes it back to the surface. After this, the story jumps directly 3 years forward in Paris, where 2 boys are searching for valuable items inside the Seine River. They hope to find some antique object. Suddenly, their magnet becomes very heavy. Seeing this, both quickly pull it out, but as soon as they see the object, they are terrified out of their wits because a missile has emerged from the river. Panicked, they immediately call the police. A short while later, the police arrive and begin an investigation. An officer named Adil informs reporters that there is no need to panic because over 100 missiles and bombs have been found in this river before. A reporter then asks him where so many bombs came from in the Paris River. Adil explains that all these bombs date back to World War II and washed up here over time. However, he adds that most of these bombs are now defunct, so there is no danger. The story then shifts back to Sophia, who has now left shark research and has started teaching children about marine life. While she is explaining the importance of marine creatures to the children, a mischievous boy taunts her, saying that her entire team died while trying to save marine life, and now she is lecturing others. Hearing this breaks Sophia's heart, and she becomes emotional and walks out. A girl named Mika stops her, but when Sophia ignores her and keeps walking, Mika suddenly mentions Beacon 7. Hearing this name shocks Sophia because that was the exact tracker she had placed on Lilith years ago. Mika then takes her to her organization, where her team is researching sharks and explains how they have progressed so far. Mika then shows Lilith's location on a screen, revealing that she has reached inside Paris's Seine River. Sophia can't believe her eyes because, according to her, a shark like Lilith cannot survive in freshwater. To this, Mika says that perhaps due to climate change, Lilith has adapted herself to the new environment and is now able to survive in the river. Mika wants them to work together to send Lilith back to the ocean. Otherwise, she might die in this river. However, Sophia refuses to join her and returns home. At home, she watches old videos on her laptop showing Lilith attacking her entire team. Watching those videos makes her emotional again. But when she checks Lilith's location once more, she is stunned to see that Lilith has truly reached the Seine River. She now realizes that the shark could pose a massive threat to the people of Paris. Thinking this over, Sophia finally decides that she must stop it at all costs. And the other side, Mika and Ben reach the Seine River while tracking Lilith's location. Mika dives into the water and sees a recently crashed car in the depths of the river, which bears deep teeth marks from a massive animal. Ben signals her to come up, but Mika detaches the rope herself to go deeper and investigate further. Fearing the police, Ben flees with the boat. When Mika surfaces a little later, the police apprehend her and take her away for questioning. Meanwhile, Sophia also reaches the same spot while tracking Lilith's location, just as the police are taking Mika away. Elsewhere, Adil takes his boat to a place called Angie's, where his friend Edward is waiting for him. Adil hands over some items to him and goes back to the police station. When Sophia arrives there, she sees no one around, but Edward's dog is continuously barking towards the river. Seeing this, Sophia senses that something terrible has happened here. After this, she returns home. The next morning, Adil interrogates Mika to find out what she was doing inside the river at night. Mika tells him that a highly dangerous shark is present in the Seine River, but Adil completely disbelieves her. Meanwhile, Sophia is continuously tracking Lilith's location. Suddenly, Sophia receives a call from Adil. When she arrives, she learns that Mika had asked Adil to call her. Adil then shows her Edward's corpse found by the riverbank, with half of its body missing. Seeing this, Adil asks Sophia if a shark attacked him. After a careful inspection, Sophia confirms that this attack was indeed done by Lilith. The story then moves to Adil's office, where he introduces Sophia and Mika to the police chief. Sophia informs everyone that a baby shark is in the Seine River, but the chief doesn't believe them. He thinks Edward's death was caused by getting caught in a boat's propeller blades. Therefore, he orders Adil to dismiss the matter. Later, Adil forms his own team and sets out in search of the shark, taking Sophia along since she has Lilith's location. Meanwhile, Mika secretly starts tailing them. When the team reaches the location, Adil sends his men into the river while he and Sophia guide them from above. On the other hand, Mika fears that if the police find the shark, they will kill it. So, she immediately calls her friend Ben and asks her to turn off the tracker. Ben warns Mika that if the tracker is disconnected now, restarting it will be nearly impossible. However, Mika keeps insisting, so Ben finally turns off the tracker. When Adil checks the machine, he is shocked because, according to the device, a shark around 20 meters long is roaming inside the river. Seeing this, Adil suspects that Sophia turned off the tracker. In anger, he pushes Sophia and tells her to leave. Following this, Sophia directly goes to Mika's office and snaps at her for turning off the tracker. Mika argues that Sophia just wants to get the shark killed, but Sophia explains that the shark is no human's friend and will take many lives if not stopped. Sophia tells Mika that 3 years ago, she too tried to save Lilith, and everyone knows what happened during that incident. Mika shoots back, saying that Sophia was also at fault in that accident because she shouldn't have gone so close to the shark. Mika asks her team to gather at a designated spot and uploads that video to the internet. Elsewhere, Adil tries to convince the police chief that the Seine River should be closed to the public immediately. But the chief informs him that a major event called the Triathlon is scheduled there in just 1 week, so the mayor won't easily permit closing the river. However, she tells Adil that they will talk to the mayor about it the next day. After this, Adil reaches home and starts watching Sophia's old videos. In those videos, he witnesses the horrific accident that happened to Sophia's team and her husband. Seeing all this makes him realize that he treated Sophia poorly. The next day, he goes to Sophia's aquarium to apologize and asks her to join the meeting with the mayor so she can reveal the truth herself. Sophia finally agrees to go with him, and both head toward the mayor's office. In the mayor's office, the police chief reports that a highly dangerous shark is present in the Seine River, but the mayor doesn't take it seriously. She states that the Triathlon Championship is happening in a few days, which will be covered worldwide, and experts will arrive soon to help. Shortly after, Adil, Sophia, and their team head toward that dangerous location. However, the path ahead was very narrow, so everyone begins moving forward on foot inside the water. On the other side, Mika had already reached there with other activists. She then enters the water with a sonar device, hoping the sonar would guide Lilith back to the ocean. Adil arrives and starts telling everyone to leave the place immediately, but Mika remains underwater. Suddenly, Lilith comes incredibly close to her. She has grown much larger than before, terrifying everyone present. Meanwhile, a baby shark approaches Mika, and she gently touches it, Seeing this, Sophia immediately starts her research and discovers during the investigation that these sharks have adapted themselves to live in freshwater. But the real shock comes when she dissects the baby shark and finds several tiny shark pups inside it. Sophia is stunned because that shark itself was only 2 months old. Her research reveals that these sharks are reproducing through a process called parthenogenesis, meaning they do not need a male partner to reproduce. Sophia tells Adil that Lilith has now become an entirely new and highly dangerous breed of shark that is expanding its population rapidly. If they aren't stopped soon, they will one day pose a threat to the entire human world. Hearing this leaves Adil completely shocked. In the next scene, Sophia presents the whole truth to the mayor and the president. She explains how dangerous Lilith and her breed have become, and warns that if nothing is done immediately, the triathlon event in the Seine River could cost thousands of lives. Therefore, she demands the immediate cancellation of the event. However, the mayor flatly refuses to listen and instead blames Sophia for the deaths that have occurred so far. Furious, Sophia snaps and begins shouting at the mayor, prompting the mayor to have her removed from the meeting. The mayor then informs Adil that the army will handle this entire matter now, so he doesn't need to do anything. Despite this, Adil and Sophia don't give up and come up with a new plan together. Adil tells his team that if they want to save their city, they must eliminate all the sharks present in the catacombs. Hearing him, the entire team agrees to support him, but they had very little time left as the triathlon event was just hours away. Adil's plan is to plant bombs inside the catacombs to blow up the entire area, wiping out all the sharks there. For this, he splits his team into 2 groups. The first team will go inside with the bombs, while the second team waits on the boat, as they will only have 3 minutes to escape once the bombs are activated. Following this, everyone sets out on this dangerous mission fully prepared. On the other hand, the triathlon event is about to begin, and the army has taken control of the entire area. The mayor arrives and delivers a speech to fire up the participants. Upon her signal, all the athletes jump into the water, and the triathlon begins. Meanwhile, Adil and his team reach inside the catacombs where Lilith has established her breeding area. To avoid the sharks, they plant bombs in 2 different locations near Sophia. They now have only 3 minutes to get out. Suddenly, a shark attacks an officer, and in no time, other sharks rip him to pieces. Gathering together, Adil lights a flare to look around, and everyone is horrified by the sheer number of sharks. Thousands were present. But the biggest problem was that the officer who was attacked held the bomb's trigger device. Another officer risks his life to retrieve the device. He somehow manages to grab it and presses the button, but before he can return, the sharks attack and kill him too. With only seconds left before the explosion, Sophia grabs Adil to pull him out. A powerful explosion occurs, leaving Adil severely injured by the blast radius. However, Sophia manages to bring the injured Adil out safely, gets him onto the boat, and goes back inside to check if anyone survived the blast. But as soon as she gets there, Lilith bursts through the debris. Sophia is horrified. Due to the death of her pups, Lilith is now more furious than ever. In her rage, she directly attacks the team's boat, flipping it over completely. Sophia rushes to help the others, but Lilith has already killed 2 team members. Somehow, Sophia pulls Adil onto the overturned boat to save their lives. After this, Lilith breaks through the safety net and heads directly toward the people swimming in the triathlon. She then begins attacking the swimmers one by one. Panic ensues as no one understands what is happening in the water. Just then, everything gets caught in the chaos, and all of Paris begins sinking into the water. Hours later, Sophia finds Adil in a critical condition. She somehow manages to guide him to the rooftop of a tall building. A little later, Adil regains consciousness. However, when both look down at the water, they are stunned by the sight. Thousands of baby sharks are swimming around them. Meanwhile, they spot Lilith in the distance. Seeing this, Sophia and Adil realize that Lilith had turned multiple places into her breeding grounds, not just one. Now, the entirety of Paris has submerged underwater, with sharks visible everywhere. On this terrifying and mysterious note, the story ends.